Ever wondered how Airbus moves aircraft parts around its network of production facilities? Ever wondered if something with this shape can even fly? We're with Airbus in Toulouse today for all things Beluga, and it's amazing. Let's do it. Welcome to Toulouse. We're back here with Airbus, and today we have a very special day visiting the Airbus Beluga. And this in particular is a BelugaXL. We're going to get to see how they operate with these things, how they load them and unload them, talk to some of the people involved with this operation. Super cool. And extra fun today, we have Chris Lomas.
Right here, ready to have a whale of a time. Get it?
Good one. Our first time shooting a video together. So let's go do this. Looking forward to it. Yeah. The proportions of this aircraft are totally crazy. It's all kinds of curvaceous, and it just rises up so high. It looks like an airship or something. And it's based off a regular A330, just an A330 from another planet, another dimension.
Does the Beluga have a crew rest area?
No. Normally we don't need these seats. The typical flight is with two pilots. This is the biggest addition between the XL and the ST. That's what the pilots like the most. They have the coffee.
The Beluga ST does not have
no,
a coffee.
no.
Really? Wow.
This is the good bit. So we're about to head upstairs into the Beluga's cargo hold. This is the unpressurized section of the aircraft, which is where those big fuselages, tailplanes, stabilizers, whatever they might be. This is where they go, and we're going to go up there right now. Let's take a look.
Doesn't it remind you of being in a cathedral or something like that?
It is. It's operatic. In fact, I think a performance of Four Seasons in here would be fantastic.
It's amazing to walk around in here, an aircraft that can hold other aircraft and fly them around. It doesn't seem like it should be possible. It feels like being inside a cathedral, albeit one with a definitely unusual decor for that kind of thing.
So I'm Jean-Pierre Cousseran. I'm the accountable manager of ATI, which stands for Airbus Transport International. It's the airline which operates these strange aircraft. Well, we operate 5 aircraft today, and they operate every day of the week from Monday to Saturday. Typically, we engage 4 or 5 aircraft per day. In a way, ATI is a very standard airline. We are organized like any other airline in the world or in Europe. The main difference is coming from the fact that we are really nested within the Airbus I would say industrial world. The specificities is linked to the way we load and we unload the aircraft with transport jigs which are sliding here on the rails and which are adapted to the sections that we carry. A section meaning a piece of fuselage or a wing. This is what we call a section. So we fly 11 stations in Europe. 10 are Airbus sites, I would say. And the 11th one is in Ankara with Turkish Aerospace. They build a piece of the A400 and fuselage. The other airports that we fly to are all connected to an Airbus plant, either a producing plant, producing a section, a piece of fuselage, or a final assembly line like here in Toulouse or in Hamburg in Germany. And each of them, or most of them, are equipped with the same ILF that you saw here. ILF means Integrated Loading Facility. And that's the hangar we use to offload and load the aircraft. The XL is based on the A330, so it's a longer aircraft. The volume that we have here is 40% higher than the one that we have in the ST. So we have 10 tons more in terms of payload compared to the ST. And the range is also longer. We can fly further with the XL, obviously.
I made it. Legroom is very good in this seat, but the view is not the best. You can't see anything, and it's a little bit sparse, the interior. Yeah. Anyway, at least they have the espresso maker. I'd probably end up hanging out mostly by that.
Right, let's go in the flight deck. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, with great pleasure. So my name is Jean-Marc Bocara. I'm head of Beluga pilots, the chief pilot, I would say, and I'm also a captain on this beautiful aircraft that is the BelugaXL. Airbus aircraft are fly-by-wire aircraft, electrical flight controls, and so you can tune particularly the flight controls of the type of aircraft. The engineer does that. So for this BelugaXL, the flight control system has been tuned to be able to fly this aircraft very precisely compared to an Airbus A330 standard. It is closer for the specialists, closer to the Airbus 330 Neo compared to the CO, which is the old version that I flew as well. And this one is more, I would say, more precise. It answers better the request from the pilot. And this type of aircraft is also subject to turbulence, winds, weather, generally speaking. For example, on a standard Airbus 330, you have wind limitations that are higher than this aircraft. This aircraft, for example, to be able to land, the maximum crosswind allowed due to the certification of the aircraft is 30 knots. On a normal A330 is 42 knots, something like that. So it's more. So it means that when it's windy with crosswind conditions, which is the case sometimes, there is some cases where we cannot land, basically. So the flight can be cancelled and rescheduled.
I was also curious if you ever feel that all this fuselage behind you, or does it feel basically, for the most part, like, are you conscious of this as you fly it?
No, it's an interesting question because you forget it. You don't forget when you walk around the aircraft, when you see the aircraft, you realize again, but once we are in, like we are now, you forget about it, basically, because it's on the top. Hopefully we forget about it, otherwise we would be frightened. This page, where you can see the cargo door, all this is very different on an A330 or commercial A330, because we would have all the doors, cabin doors, the slides that would be arranged like this, and we don't have obviously this main cargo door. Yeah, this is the main cargo door. It's locked. When it's moving, it's orange, and when it's open, it's totally orange. You see this. It means it's closed, locked, and it's written here if we forget.
How does max takeoff weight compare to an A330 standard?
It's a little bit less. This aircraft has a max takeoff weight of 227 tons, certified. But on the European network, we fly it at 205 tons max takeoff weight to reduce the fees that you pay, overflight fees, landing fees, which are based on this max takeoff weight. But the certification is 227, and on a 330 it's 230 if I'm not mistaken. So it's just a little bit different.
I was kind of surprised actually that he said it basically handles the same. I mean, he did mention that in tricky weather it can feel kind of sporty or like intense, but basically that it's the same. I just wouldn't have imagined that this fuselage, you wouldn't notice it as you're flying it, right? That, like, such a fascinating thing that he said they forget what's behind them.
He explained that as chief pilot, who's in charge of a lot of to do with the scheduling and managing the operation, that does sometimes cause delays, because when they do have that strong crosswind at a destination or at a departure airport, that's going to delay them, and they have to build that into their schedule, something which commercial airlines wouldn't have quite such a problem with.
Yeah, so their schedule's changing quite a bit. I like how they seem like proper pilots somehow. Like they have like a lot of them have those kind of bomber jackets, almost the leather ones.
I've noticed
you know?
that Airbus pilots are issued with a kind of bomber jacket. They all have it's very B-16,
Yeah.
which I think is quite cool.
It's really cool. And then you're flying this thing, which, you know, you could argue it's not the prettiest airplane in the sky, but it is very special, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the color for the BelugaXL, and this is the color for the Beluga ST. Everything blue relates to the Beluga ST, and everything pink, I would say pinkish, is related to the BelugaXL. So same for the doors here, so people don't make any confusion between the two aircraft types. And this plate here is used to actually position the aircraft precisely. You will see it when it comes in. There is a radar, laser pointer, and the laser pointer needs to be on the plate. It's just a reference point for the aircraft to be positioned in the interface rack.
Okay, so I guess the door is open before they put the jacks. Otherwise, the frame is twisted.
So yeah, the interest of having this kind of facility here, where half of the plane is inside and half of the plane remains outside, is that we are protected from the weather, but still we can offload and load the aircraft at the same time as we refuel it. So that helps us compressing the TAT, the turnaround time. A typical turnaround time here in this facility is 1 hour for the aircraft to stop, enter any ILF, offload, load, and take off or leave the plant. It's 1 hour typically, 1 hour 70 minutes.
It's impressive. I would have expected it to be longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back of the airplane, we cannot pull it because of the nose, which is too low on this aircraft, and which would force us to have a very long tow bar. So instead we go on the other side and we push it, which is fairly unusual, I would say. So the guy in the tractor has the camera, a screen with the position of the laser beam that I explained to you. So he knows exactly where the laser will be on the plate, and he adjusts the movements of the aircraft to the position of the laser beam on the plate.
We're up top now where this thing gets loaded and unloaded. We're about to see the big forward door open, and they're going to unload a few items. Some of what's on here is going to end up flying onward to Hamburg, but we're going to see a couple of, I believe, horizontal stabilizers coming off this thing now. watched the unloading and the loading, and now they're gonna push back this beautiful beast behind us with its whale eye looking out at us. I wish we could have flown on one this time. We'll have to save that for another time though. The schedules just didn't quite work out. It would be amazing. Although I guess on board you wouldn't really know, aside from the fact that there's no passenger cabin. But still, to take a ride on one would be something special. Even this is just very special, to get this kind of access and see this. It's something we wanted to do for a long time, and it's never been possible until now, so exciting stuff.